Hello and hi, YouTube family. This is Celestial Thomas, and you are tuning into Celestial Evolution. This is my first number one long anticipated on my part, not y'all, because you don't know who I am yet, but this has been a process, okay? And it has been wanting to manifest itself for many a years. I'd say at least 3. In my mind, that's what I wanted. Originally, I wanted to start off as like a singing channel, but there are so many of those, and I'm a woman of age, so I don't think it's going to happen for me. But I will sing to you guys one day, so don't forget to ask, okay? Because I will do it. I sing every day, all day, wherever there's a microphone, shower echoes, stuff like that. But I digress. I know. And you'll understand as you guys get to know me. But thank you very much for tuning in. And what Celestial Evolution is basically my dream, my baby. What I hope to highlight on this channel is, let's break it down first. So, for context, what I have assessed about growing up in our society is that I think a large majority of our population has been overcome by peer pressure. And what I mean by that is peer pressure as I know it as a young kid. I don't know about you all, but it was always connected to things like, don't do drugs and say no to sex and all of these different things, things that will get you in trouble or could pretty much derail you in your progress of self evolving. And what I have come to find is that when you go out into the world with no plan, in the unboundedness that is life, you're going to get lost. And you're going to get lost in different personalities, relationships, jobs, social media, all of these things that are meant to shape those that have no idea who they are. And is that necessarily a bad thing? No. It's you come into this world and you don't necessarily develop your sense of being. Some people like to believe it's innate, which I do to a certain extent. But overall, we are developed by the different experiences, the many people that shape us over time. So before we step out onto the world, I feel like we need to have a foundation. And what I mean by that is something, different aspects of life that create a sense of foundation, a sense of sturdiness that we can stand upon. That way we don't have to rely on anybody for anything, right? So that we can truly develop by ourselves and create true authenticity. Now, we need to get our life right? I'm learning. I'm still learning to this day. We're learning together. That's why this show has been created, to keep me accountable in my life. I've had to make some pretty tough decisions to get to from where I am at this point. And though it's not everything that I want it to be yet, I know that with a little consciousness, a little hard work, and a lot of optimism, I will eventually get there. Now, Celestial Evolution wants to talk about the foundation. The foundation, I feel, should consist of 4 pillars. Like a square, right? A box. Let's do 1, 2, 3, 4. Draw that box. 4 score. And the 4 pillars that I want to highlight into chapters of this channel, so subdivisions of this channel, will be physicality, also known as fitness, spirituality, education, and financial well-being. I think these 4 things, at least for myself, and I'm pretty sure there's a lot more that you can put into it to create foundation. But if you have your physicality right, your vessel that God gave you, or whatever you believe in, the higher power gave you so that you can navigate through life. if you have your spirituality intact, whether that be religion for you or a connection to the greater power that is out there, because we are connected to something bigger than us, okay? And if for those of you who don't believe that, y'all can leave now, because it's true, for me at least. That's my paradigm. Education. Education, whether it be self-education, or you go to university, a JC, a state school, I don't care how you get it. You need to always be learning about something and study it. Don't just open up social media, look at an article and say that's absolute truth, because the content that's put out here nowadays has to be accredited by somebody, and everybody has their own opinion. It's formulated by, I guess they say professionals, but even professionals have different interests involved, you know what I'm saying? So do your research, and whatever is true to your spirit, whatever talks to your spirit, I believe that's the truth for you. And last but not least, financial well-being. Now, I originally wanted to call it finance because, anything that revolves around money. My boss told me otherwise because I am not a financial consultant. My boss, who I work for, she is a financial consultant and has been so for over 30 years. And I'm very thankful to have her in my life because she's opened me up to a lot of ideas that I would have never thought to think about, and it is so important to think about because money makes the world go round. It is the blood of our society, and without blood we dry up and we become medieval peasants. So I think for myself, creating that sturdy foundation of physicality, of spirituality, of education, and financial well-being, that gives you a basis to stand on, so that if you have all those intact, you're a pretty whole human being. And then you can start to delve away from the dependencies that you possibly have in life, whether it be, living with your parents, or maybe you're under a spouse, or you have your roommates, but you want to be alone, right? We all want to have independent lives. Married or not, you should always be your own individual, because whether or not they leave you because of infidelity or whatever it may be, if you don't have your own stuff together and they die, how are you going to survive? How are you going to survive? I don't know. You're going to be lost. You're going to be crying, sniffling and everything. And creditors are coming to your door talking about, hey, you got this loan and you're going to pay it off. And then, you got to go to work because you not only have a loan, but you have electricity to pay for, or PG&E. I don't know if electricity is SMUD, whatever, those things. And then you got cable, you got phone bills, you have your car note, you have insurance, life, dental, health, car, all those. And those are all insurances, by the way, because you just keep accumulating. You just don't know what life is, so you just throw money at them. Here, just take it just in case. Insurance. Now, I do believe in health insurance, y'all. This is my first real job that I have, and having health insurance has changed my whole entire life, okay? I get to go to a doctor and be like, yeah, this hurts. Can you tell me why this hurts? I used to have to go to Google and be like, this hurts. Can you tell me why this hurts? And I have a real professional talking to me about it. But that's a whole different, we'll talk about that. That's more about physicality. That will go under that category. But having a sense of stability is so so integral to our development as human beings. Once we can find our sense of stability, there we can rely on our own independence. And where independence comes, formulates authenticity, because you can be yourself without having to worry about stepping on someone's toes. Well, unless they're in the limelight now in our PC culture and cancel culture these days. It's too much things to worry about. I don't know. There's a lot going on, but we'll discuss that more and more as we keep going along. But celestial evolution, how did I come up with that name? Celestial. Well, that's my name. And my dad actually coined me that name, and he's a bookworm. So as my mother was, in the delivery room, he pulls out a dictionary and he reads celestial to my mother, which, deals with the heavenly bodies, like an astronomy term. And my mother said that is going to be the name of my first daughter. I'm the oldest. And so I am celestial, and I have to live up to the expectation of the name, I suppose. And evolution, I feel, is an important concept for me, at least. I have always been in a state of mind where I always have to constantly be growing. And sometimes I get stagnated. Most of the time I'm stagnated because there's so many things that we need to really take into consideration as to what evolution means to each individual person. By definition, let's pull this up. Evolution means, let's look at it. By definition, evolution is, first off, a noun, which we all know is defined as a person, place, or thing. So I'm guessing evolution falls under thing. But the first definition of evolution, because in dictionary there's like so many like variables of a word, the process by which different kinds of living organisms are thought to have developed and diversified from earlier forms during the history of the earth. So basically a visual of that would be like, for anybody who this offends, I'm just giving an example, okay? Or we're Homo sapiens. We had Homo erectus, and I don't know the rest of them. I took anthropology like 5 years ago, guys, so I have to dive into this a little bit more. But like from Homo erectus to Homo sapien. Now, Homo erectus looked a little bit like a monkey, but I'll put up Homo erectus and Homo sapien. And basically, this is the process by which different kinds of living organisms, so that's one type of living organism, has developed and diversified from earlier forms. So as you can see, there's two different kinds of species here. I mean, they're the same species, but they're obviously different types of organisms, right? And they have definitely changed forms from the earlier times we've changed. And so that's one definition. The second definition is the gradual development of something, especially from a simple to a more complex form. So the definition that they give here is the forms of written languages undergo constant evolution, which is why we have multiple definitions here. But another visual of that would be for context for that one, there's this book that I'm reading which is called The Psychology of Man's Possible Evolution, and it is written by P.D. Ouspensky. Please forgive me if I mispronounce his name, but it was written in the 1940s, and I'm still getting through it because it is a very short book and it looks like an easy read, but the concepts in it are they really are abstract, but not really. It's very literal. But basically in his book, what he deems as evolution, by ways of the way that we just defined it, evolution seems to be something passive, right? And I'm going to give you another example by what I mean by that. When we see the evolution of like Homo erectus to Homo sapien, there's obviously a form difference, right? Something happened to where they started not really walking on like 4 limbs, but rather standing bipedal, which is on 2 feet as we are today as human form. If you watch Animal Planet, like I do, because I'm a nerd and I love to watch Animal Planet because they are us out in the wild without consciousness and without houses and without smud and sanitary means, okay? That's us out there. I'm just telling you right now, okay? And what I see when I watch it, like, you really do see the evolution happen very quickly because some animals don't have the same lifespan as we do. So you can see how they turn into something better, whether they develop new physical attributes to help them do better, or excuse me, camouflage themselves, or deter off predators if they're bright in color, or if they are camouflaged so that they can not be seen by predators, or if they develop new ways to use their body, like new maybe wingspans or claws, or like if you ever seen the anglerfish like in the depths of the ocean that have the little kind of angler like light bulb on his head. You guys watch Finding Nemo, like the really scary scene when he's about to eat both Nemo and not Nemo, Nemo's dad and Dory, yeah.
What is it?
It's so pretty.
I'm feeling happy, which is a big deal for me.
I want to touch it.
Ooh. Hey, come back. Come on back here.
I'm gonna get you.
I'm gonna get you.
I'm gonna get you.
I'm gonna swim with you.
I'm gonna get you.
I'm gonna be your best friend. Good feelings gone.
And then that is like, when it's in down there, that nobody can really see down there. So the other fish are like, ooh, there's a light. That might be something good to eat. I'm going to eat it. And then they get close to the light, and then things like, yeah, I got you. And it's going to eat you. And that's what happens, right? So like you see all of these crazy evolutionary advancements for these animals so that they can survive in their environment and also pass down that attribute to their offspring so that their offspring can have a fighting chance to survive. And what I have found from this is that it seems like it's a very passive thing, right? But the way Ouspensky says it, he says that evolution has to be a conscious effort, not something that's passive. And we will never truly evolve. And I think for us now, evolution is refers to the evolution of the mind, or maybe even the spirit. But I think those are the next things that need to truly evolve. I feel we're good with our bodies and everything. Maybe like some superhuman strength, some like X-ray vision so that I can like burn things down. Maybe not, because when I have my temper. But anyways, stuff like that. I think we're pretty good. So we just need to evolve this. I apologize for that. My camera cut out, and I have 8 minutes of audio because I have a separate attachment for my audio and my camera, but the visuals cut out. So there's really no way to rectify this. That won't take a million years. So I'm going to bid adieu, and for all of you who've listened up until this point, I thank you so very much for tuning in. I will only get better at these videos, okay? This is a very great learning curve for me, and luckily I took a class, very remedial class, but a class nonetheless. But celestial evolution, you guys, again, is truly my way of taking accountability of my life. And what I will share with you in regards to content is literally going to be what I feel is useful for my life when I gain the information that I share with you all. And hopefully we can all utilize the information that I am providing in a way to catapult our human species into a better version of themselves, hence celestial evolution. Thank you once again for tuning in, and I will see and talk to you guys all next time. Until then, I have to find a smoother transition for that. Bye-bye.